Have you ever found yourself gossiping at work, thinking it's harmless? What if I told you that this small habit could be sabotaging your career growth? Yes, you heard me right. Gossiping might just be the hidden factor holding you back from the success you're striving for. Now, imagine this. You're at work, chatting with colleagues, laughing over a juicy tidbit. It feels innocent, right? After all, everyone's doing it. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless conversation could be the very thing that's stopping you from getting that promotion, earning respect, or building lasting relationships at work? Let's be honest. How often do you find yourself talking about a colleague, a manager, or the latest office drama? It's easy, right? You're just letting off some steam, but what if I told you this seemingly innocent chat could be costing you more than you think? What if the gossip you're casually sharing could actually be creating barriers to your career growth, limiting your opportunities, and even harming your relationships at work? Here's the truth. Gossip isn't just a harmless habit. It's something that chips away at your reputation, trustworthiness, and emotional well-being. Let's dive into the psychology behind why this happens. Let's talk about why gossip feels so natural, but it's not just about the words we speak. It's the deep psychological effect it has on us in our careers. Did you know that the simple act of gossiping might be shaping how your colleagues perceive you, how much trust they place in you, and ultimately how far you'll go in your professional journey? Gossip doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It's tied to our innate need for social connection. A study published in Psychological Science found that people often gossip because it creates a sense of bonding and helps establish a group identity. We feel connected when we share secrets, even though these secrets often harm others. But here's the truth. When you gossip, you're not just participating in a conversation. You're subtly sending out signals that affect your professional reputation. Psychology calls this the trust factor. And here's where it gets tricky. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly hard to rebuild, especially in a work environment. What happens if you skip this? You risk being perceived as unreliable, untrustworthy, and even unprofessional. So, what's really happening when we gossip? Psychologists say it's not just about the drama or the entertainment value. It's a behavior that impacts our professional image, and it's not a good impact. Research shows that gossip lowers your status in the workplace. Psychology calls this the trust factor. When we gossip, we're actually undermining the trust people place in us. A study from the Journal of Applied Social Psychology found that employees who gossip regularly are often seen as less reliable and are excluded from key professional opportunities. What happens if you skip this? You miss out on building meaningful relationships that can help you grow and advance in your career. Additionally, psychological research on social comparison theory suggests that when we gossip, we often do it to make ourselves feel better about our position within a group. However, this act often backfires. It doesn't just damage the reputation of those being gossiped about, it also diminishes the trust others have in the person doing the gossiping. Here's why this happens. Gossip fosters negativity, undermines team morale, and makes colleagues wary of interacting with you. Now let's dig deeper into why this happens. Many people think that gossip is a harmless social activity, but it's actually a mechanism that plays into our emotions and insecurities. What happens when we gossip is that we're looking for validation, for social connection, and for a sense of belonging. But here's what's really happening. You might be bonding with others in the short term, but in the long run, you're damaging your work relationships. A study from Harvard Business Review suggests that gossip, while it may seem like a tool for bonding, often fosters us versus them mentalities in the workplace. This creates divisions, undermining teamwork and collaboration. Let's be honest, gossip feels good at the moment, but that satisfaction doesn't last. What happens is that people begin to associate you with negativity, with conflict, and with drama. Here's why this happens. When you gossip, you're allowing stress and insecurity to take control. Psychologically, gossip serves as a temporary escape from anxiety. However, it creates long-term issues like workplace toxicity and trust breakdowns, which will hurt you more in the future. You might be wondering, why should I care about this? Well, the truth is, when you gossip at work, you're not just damaging relationships, you're harming your chances of career advancement. If you can shift your focus away from gossip and onto building trust and respect, you'll experience a transformation in your professional life. Here's why it's important to stop gossiping. You're about to uncover the truth behind why your career might not be progressing the way you'd like. Understanding this will allow you to build a more positive, trust-based environment where your growth and opportunities can truly flourish. Research from Gallup on workplace engagement found that employees who build relationships based on trust are more likely to be promoted, enjoy higher job satisfaction, and feel motivated at work. What happens if you skip this? You risk becoming isolated in your workplace and losing opportunities for collaboration and advancement. Trust-based relationships are essential for career success, and gossiping is the one thing that can drive a wedge between you and those opportunities. Let's break it down. 1. The first reason is stress. When we gossip, it's often a way of relieving stress, but it actually increases it. That's because gossip fosters negativity and divides teams. The second reason is technology, your phone, emails, and instant messages. These tools make it easier to spread gossip, and they can lead to misunderstandings. And finally, here's the crucial point. Focusing on positive, meaningful communication is the key to building trust and fostering professional relationships that actually benefit your career. What happens if you skip this? You miss out on creating a positive reputation at work, and instead, you're seen as someone who engages in drama. Here's why this happens. When you let stress, technology, and poor communication choices rule your interactions, it's easy to fall into the trap of gossip. Research from the American Psychological Association, APA, shows that stress is one of the main triggers for gossip, as people often use it to vent their frustrations. But it doesn't just stop there, it spirals into damaging behavior that undermines both your emotional well-being and professional standing. Have you ever noticed that after gossiping, you start to feel a little uneasy about the people you've spoken about? Does it ever cross your mind that this could affect how others see you? Think about it. How often do you find yourself caught in a conversation that starts off lighthearted, but ends up making you feel uncomfortable? Does this sound like something you've experienced? Reflect on the last time you participated in gossip. Think about it. How did it affect you in the long run? Did it help your career, or did it make things more difficult? Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology highlights that people who refrain from gossip are often seen as more professional and trustworthy in the workplace. By asking yourself these questions, you're beginning to realize just how much your behavior impacts your future. Now that you understand why gossiping at work is a career killer, it's time to change the way you approach your interactions at work. Start by focusing on building trust through open, honest communication. Eliminate negative conversations and instead, be the person who fosters a positive, collaborative environment. Don't just watch, take action, and stop gossiping at work. The next time you feel the urge to gossip, stop and think, what could this conversation cost you? Let's be real. You've got the power to make a change. By transforming how you communicate, you'll transform your career. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. Don't just watch. Change the way you think about work relationships. If you want to keep learning how to boost your career and create a positive impact at work, hit subscribe now.